tonight. Is there a different feeling given so many changes coming into this year?
I mean, every new start is a little bit different. I've experienced similar situations a couple of times now, so I feel like I kind of know what's coming. But we've had really good preparation. We had a lot of success in preseason with the new stuff we've been trying to put in. So yeah, I mean it's always exciting to get the new season started, but I wouldn't say it's that different to many other seasons.
What's different about what you saw in the preseason, maybe from what you could have expected with this team?
I mean, I'm impressed with the fact how fast we kind of managed to put whatever we're trying to put in practice and like apply it to the game, apply it to preseason games. How well we're buying into the system. It seems that we're sharing the ball really well. Obviously, like defensively, we're doing pretty well with our coverages, but we got a very talented defensive team, so I wasn't too worried about that. Yeah, just the way we've been playing together has been really good, I think.
There's been a lot of talk about having the game slow down for Grady, Derek, and a couple other guys. How long did it take for the game to slow down for you?
It took me a while. It's one of those things. I mean, there's no real there's not one point where all of a sudden the game slows down. Like it's more like a gradual process. You got to just go through all these experiences. You almost got to make all the classic mistakes that most rookies make, and then you learn from them. You get in similar situations again and again and again, and you get better at them every single time. Right now, I think he's actually doing pretty well out there. Obviously, like sometimes you can tell he's in situations where he gets caught off guard a little bit. He tries to make a quick decision. Those are the situations that you'll get used to. You'll slow down. You'll find the right idea, the right pass, and I think he'll get it pretty fast. He's an intelligent player, so I'm not too worried about him.
Derek, in the offseason as a free agent, like you had some choices presumably, and I'm just wondering what guided you to return here, and you feel good about that decision based on how things have gone.
I mean, there's a lot of different factors that go into decisions like that. For me, I just knew I was comfortable here with the team, with the city, the organization, like all these different factors. Like I knew that I enjoyed playing here at the end of last season, and I figured it was going to be much more the same. And like the contract negotiations worked pretty smoothly, so then it was an easy decision for me. And yeah, like I said earlier, I think I'm really happy with how we've been playing so far, so no regrets on my part.
And did that way the season finish last year with you as a starter at 50-9, I think is the number, was that kind of going, this team has got something in the tank, like there's an opportunity here to be better than maybe last year's record suggested?
I think everybody knew that. Yeah, like we got more in us than kind of how the whole season went. I mean, obviously that was this before I got here, but even from like talking to the other guys, like it just seemed like one of those seasons where like things weren't going quite right, like with injuries and then with missing pieces here or there. Like, yeah, so it's nice to just kind of get like a clean slate, like start off fresh with a new season and an opportunity for us to show what we got.
Focusing more on tonight's game, Minnesota, they're a pretty large team. You guys are also have size on your advantage as well, but what kind of gives you the edge in this case?
I mean, I think it's different play styles. Even though we might both have like a lot of size on the court, for us, I think it's going to be the aggressiveness that's really going to help us. Hopefully, the aggressiveness on defense to be able to match up with them pretty well, and then aggressiveness in the case of like getting out and running, attacking them in the paint. But yeah, obviously every basketball game is a little bit different. It doesn't always go the way you expect it, so we're just going to go out there and see what the game feels like, and hopefully, yeah, like I said, make the right decisions.
When you came in with DeMar and Kyle and those teams, one of the common threads it seems like every year was kind of that chip on their shoulder mentality. Those guys at least always felt like this team was being overlooked, and that seems to be again kind of the situation around the league this year. Is that the win total is pretty low, predictions and all of that being what they are you guys embracing that idea of kind of being the underdog and proving people wrong this year, trying to prove people wrong this year?
I mean, I personally don't really care about the predictions and stuff like that. Like what the fans, the experts, whoever where they might have us ranked, what they think our season's going to look like. We're gonna look at ourselves, look at what we can do out there, what we can do better, how we can improve along the season. So yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to be focusing on. I don't really get any extra motivation or let myself get down by anybody from the outside talking about it.
What are your expectations for the season? Like, what would make a successful season for this team?
It's really hard for me to give like a straightforward answer to that because it can look there's different things that can go really successful for us. Obviously, like the immediate success, like we want to get to the playoffs, we want to make noise in the playoffs. Like we want to show teams that we could be one of those teams that comes in with like you said, like low expectations and can upset some people. But also, I think for a new group to come together and really show that we can play the right way, we can like kind of grow within this new system. Might not be an easy start to the season because we got a couple new pieces and like a brand new coaching staff and a brand new system. So if we just manage to show the potential that we got and like kind of start building something that can like have a lot of success in the coming years, I think that's can also be a successful season for us.
Yeah, what do you see in terms of like the new offensive system? And obviously it's been oriented a lot more around the high post and things like that, and like off ball action. But in terms of like facing switching defense that will try to neutralize some of those screening actions, what do you think you can do specifically to try and beat switching defenses?
I mean, it's going to depend on different matchups. I think we got a lot of guys out there that can take advantage of teams that are trying to switch, especially with Dennis out there. I think he's going to be able to do similar things that Fred did for us last year, where he's going to be a really good screener, getting guys like Scotty, OG, Pascal down in the paint against smaller guys, and we can really take care of our advantages there. Other than that, like I said, it's going to depend on the specific matchup. We got a lot of different weapons within the system. It's not very one-dimensional. There's so many different things to it. So depending on what the defense is throwing at us, there's always different options that we can go to.
How are you celebrating or acknowledging your first NBA game? Your family here, I presume. Anything else going on?
Nothing much. I mean, a lot of family time. My parents are up here and one of my brothers. So thing is, it's his first time being out here, so kind of trying different things, going to different restaurants. That's been the fun part about it.
Has it kind of hit you yet? Like, I know each stage kind of hits you, right? But
Yeah.
this is the big one, I suppose.
For sure. I mean, I think it really hits me. I mean, obviously in the preseason game, just going out and seeing the arena, where you're one of the first ones in there as a team, and no one, it's empty. So kind of looking up and seeing stuff, especially one of the first ones being Chicago, and you see Michael Jordan in the banners as a rookie. That's kind of crazy to see. So it's been super special.
How do you balance yourself going into a game like this to the point where you're still appreciating the moment and taking everything in, but making sure that it's not too much?
I think there's just kind of a flipping of a switch of kind of keeping that, realizing it's special, walking into it. And then there's a point where, I just get in my head and think, this is basketball at the end of the day, what I've been doing since I was a little kid. And I think just in that locker room, got some headphones on, and then right before you go out, or go out to the pregame shooting, it's one of those things where it just flips onto the basketball mode, and it's the same thing I've been doing. So.
What's the best piece of advice you've received heading into your first NBA game?
I think from Coach Darko, just knowing from his experience, as a coach, and he's gone through seasons of this kind of length of games, and I haven't, obviously. So just him telling me there's gonna be ups and downs. It's a long journey, but never get too high, never get too low, and I'm just trying to keep it even emotions and stuff like that. And that's what my mom and dad have told me since I was a little kid too. So it's one of those things that's great to hear from my coach.
How have you felt the game already start to slow down? I'm sure there's a long road ahead, but how has the game slowed down for you so far?
I think just figuring out how to utilize different things to your advantage. and as your position, mine being, kind of along the wing, just trying to learn different openings. With the space on the floor, I think that's been the biggest thing. One of the biggest changes I talk a lot about is just the spacing of the floor compared to college or high school, and learning how to kind of use that to your advantage, like I said, getting in different openings that probably were a lot smaller in college, where there are more open gaps here. So just learning different, intricate things like that.
How did this jump, or how do you think this jump will compare to the high school to college jump?
Obviously, there's at every level, of basketball, it's different, different competition, and fortunately for me, I made that decision, in high school to go to a travel kind of basketball school for my senior year. So I think that helped me transition to the next, step of my basketball journey being college, and then playing in the Big 12, if not the best, conference, out there in college, and just seeing competition like that for the first time as a freshman. Really opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and I think, as I said, it's going to transition to different levels of basketball, and I'll see my whole new road of challenges as I get in here.
How do you explain to people that there's more space on an NBA floor? I mean, the players are all bigger, faster, smarter, so you think there'd be less space. But explain that kind of.
Yeah, it's more in the way of like, I mean, it doesn't necessarily be like the exact measurements, of the floor, but it's mostly, different rules, different paint rules in college of, how long you can be in the paint, different things like that. So that's also another big thing that, I'm still learning is, you beat one guy in college, you have the whole team suctioning in, but you make some good reads, on the NBA floor, and if you make it at the right time, then the center has to kind of get out of the paint, and that gives you, more room to make different reads. And I think the biggest thing I keep talking about, what I'm working on is just, making those reads and finding the next best play.
Is there anything else that stood out to you, especially in the preseason, that you realized you got to learn a little bit more about this level?
I mean, in general, it's just terminologies of, what coach wants on the defensive end, offensive end, and I think that just comes in being locked in, when you step into the arena. Or really the night before is where it really starts, and when you're on the iPad looking at different things like that. So I think just reminding myself that I need to be locked in, every second, because it's a special opportunity to be in the NBA, and I'm trying to make the most of it.
Darko mentioned yesterday that you've been impressed with how quickly and the pace in which you learned things. Looking at Summer League, LA, preseason, and how you ended all those journeys, you kept on getting better. What aspects are you proudest about when it comes to how you've developed from the day you were drafted to where you are now?
I think it's really, I feel like I say this in really pretty much every interview of I'm coming in as a new guy. I talk a ton about just being that sponge. I think I'm just proud about I want to be as coachable as I can be, and I want to learn as much as I can, and there's a lot coming at us with knowledge, quick, not only, me, but just all the new guys, because we have, a lot of new pieces on this team and organization. But I think it's really just, being open to coaching from anyone. It does not just be Coach Darko. It can be, the vets, other guys. There's no one as old as me, I don't think, but technically around my age, I'm open to just bouncing back, learning different things like that. And it's just one of those things where I feel like this team has that, where people, want to learn, and they understand that Coach Darko has, amazing knowledge of the game. So when we're all open like that, it kind of builds that chemistry quick, where we're kind of hitting the ground running before, opening day. So.
You're going to continue doing the Dennis 3-point celebration?
Of course, yeah, I saw him. I had to. Yeah, it's his thing.
What are you listening to pregame?
Ooh, Rod Wave. He got his new album a month ago or something like that. So, locking on him.